Chuck, November 5, CHB, your net control station for this half hour. Guys, be kind to me tonight. It's my first time net logging for ECR, so I'm looking for your love and support. We're going to first start out by calling for mobile stations. Mobile stations, please check in now with your call sign twice, slowly.
Kilo, Oscar 6, Mike, November. Kilo, Oscar 6, Mike, November, mobile. Gold 8, Whiskey, Double B, in and out. Good morning or good evening, everyone. 7-3.
All right, well, we're going to go ahead and recognize those check-ins we have tonight, and we'll start at the KO6MN, KO6MMN. We had Ed from San Jose. We had Randy, W2RBC, and we had Armand, W4AEB. We're going to go first to our mobile check-in, which is KO6MMN. Ed, the question we have for tonight for everybody is, what radio equipment are you buying with your tax refund? So if you could get out there and get your favorite radio or something you've been thinking of, what would that be? So Ed, we'll start with you.
I would get, so I just bought several radios, the batteries, coax, antennas, all this stuff. If I could do it again with a tax refund, like all at once, I think I'd get the ICOM 7300, like that. Instead of my closet full of radios I'm working on. But anyway, Kilo Oscar 6, Mike November, back to you.
Thank you, Ed. One of the things I heard very early on in my ham career was buy once, cry once. And I can tell you that 7300, especially the Mark II, is a popular radio. So thanks for checking in tonight. We appreciate you being there. We're going to go up to the top of the list to W4AEB, Armand from Miami, Florida. Armand, tell us about the radio you'd like to have.
Good evening, everyone, on Open Mic Night. And Chuck, welcome to Net Control. I'm sure you do fine tonight. This is Armand, Miami, W4AEB. This is the first year in a long time I received a refund, and I'm hanging on to it. So I spent enough money the past few months that I'm not going to buy anything at the moment. So it's W4AEB, back to Net Control.
Thank you, Armand. I appreciate that. It's one of those things that I'm the same way. I've accumulated quite a bit of equipment since I started this hobby, and I just hope my wife believes what I told her I paid for it. Hi. Well, thanks for checking in, Armand. We appreciate it. We're going to go to next up on the list. We've got KO6. I'm sorry, we've already called on him. We had Nick from General Santos City. He was in and out, 4G8 WVV. Thanks for stopping by tonight, Nick. We appreciate that. Next up on the list, we've got Dave from Ypsilanti, Michigan, WB8 ODF. Dave, it's your turn. What would you get if you could get a great radio with your refund?
Well, good evening, Chuck, Bill, and Gil, and everybody else on the Open Mic Night. If I got enough, I would like to buy an amplifier. That was my second choice. I would like to buy one of the magnetic loop antennas I could put out on my patio. So I'm going to go with a loop antenna. WB8 ODF. Have a great rest of the half hour there, Chuck.
Thank you, Dave. I appreciate that, and thanks for wishing me luck. Yeah, I've looked at those as well, and those are very interesting. And I've got enough antennas around here in my drawers and my boxes that I'm going to stick with what I have for a little while. We'll go from there. So thanks for checking in tonight, Dave. We sure appreciate it. Next up on our list from Elma, New York, and one of the ECR people is Mark, KE2EDS. Mark, good evening. What radio would you get if you could?
Well, good evening, Chuck, and good evening, rest of the group. I would probably buy another 991A. I love my 991A, but I would love to have a second one. Hey, big favor, you got to mute the Zoom room, and you missed Randy, FYI. Other than that, have a great evening, everyone. KE2EDS.
Roger, Roger. Well, I appreciate the direction. Thanks for helping me out there tonight. We will. We'll go back up to Randy from West Seneca, New York, one of the ECR crew, W2RBC. Randy, sorry for the overlook, but we're coming right to you.
Good evening, Chuck, Bill, and everyone on the open mic net. I really don't need any radio equipment. Maybe I'll look for a Tektronix TTR 500 V&A, though. That would be sort of interesting. Back to net control, 73 to all, W2RBC.
Thank you, Randy. Appreciate you checking in tonight. I've got to get one of those as well, and I'm sure I'll be adding one to my collection here shortly. Well, that brings us to the bottom of the list. We got plenty of room for check-ins, anybody, anywhere, mobile stations, or you can check in online as well. Please come now with your call sign twice, slowly and phonetically.
AB1EX. AB1EX.
All right, well, we got George from Madison, Alabama. George, thanks for checking in tonight and being with us, AB1EX. Question tonight, I'm sure you've heard, is what radio equipment are you buying with your tax refund if you can? So, George, what would you get?
Well, my tax refund wouldn't cover it, but I'll take an FTDX 101D Yaesu.
George, I have looked long and hard at that radio. I've got the FT710, and that's a radio that I've been looking at. I just think it's way over my capabilities, but it would certainly be something nice to have. So thanks for throwing that out there. We appreciate you being here tonight. From East Islip, New York, next we've got Joe, K2AP. Good evening, Joe.
Good evening to everyone on the net. I'll tell you the truth, I can't think of anything that I would buy. I thought maybe of an antenna, another amplifier, but I'm pretty satisfied with what I have. So I'm going to say that I want to keep everything status quo. K2AP, back to great evening, everyone.
Thank you, Joe. Yeah, I've looked at some amplifiers too, but we'll see what happens in the future. So thanks for checking in tonight. We appreciate it. And we are back to the bottom of our list again. We got plenty of room for anybody that wants to check in. This is Chuck, N5CHB, net control for tonight's Open Mic Net. Next up on our list, we've got Bill. Bill, one of the ECR crew, KFOMHN. Bill will be our next half-hour net control. But Bill, we're going to jump to you. What would you buy if you could?
Well, I don't get a tax refund, but so my wife is the IRS, but if she would let me, I'd say an Icon 7300.
Well, I think there's people that are firmly entrenched in the ICOM camp and people firmly entrenched in the Yaesu camp, and people like what they like, that's for sure. Thanks, Bill, and I'll be looking forward to your second half hour when I can watch you and learn. So thanks for jumping in there tonight. Once again, it's 7:09. Lots of room for more check-ins. We'd love you to check in with us tonight. Again, you can check in via text. That text line number is 716-317-9050 if you'd like to check in. We'd love for you to check in, or you can come to us over the air here. Please come all time twice, slowly and phonetically.
KK4 DUK. KK4 DUK.
Kilo, can you come back?
Sierra Lima, Charlie.
All right, well, we got part of that call. If you try one more time, we sure want to get you in the loop.
KE2FLO. Go at 5 Alpha Sierra Lima, 5 ASL.
All right, we're going to jump to the top of this list. We got Fred from Lake City, Florida, KK4DUK. Hello, Fred. Good evening. If you are getting a tax refund this year, what radio would you buy if you could?
This is KK4DUK. This is Fred. If I were to get a tax refund, but I'm not, but if I were to get one, it would be the Yaesu FT991A, A as in Alpha. That would be the one. KK4DUK, returning it to net control.
Thank you, Fred. Appreciate you checking in tonight. I've got seller's remorse. I had a 991 at one time, and I sold it, and I sit around all the time wondering if I did the right thing. It's a great radio, so I hope you get yourself one someday. Thanks for checking in tonight. From Buffalo, New York, we've got Mike, KE2FLO. Good evening, Mike.
Good evening, Chuck, and everyone out there on the open mic tonight. As far as a tax return, I do not get one. I always end up having to pay the guys. But if I did get one, it would probably be an ICOM or a Yaesu. Which one, I don't know as far as yet. I'm not them experienced with everything yet, but one of those for sure. And with that, I will say back to you. Thanks for doing the net once again. Everyone have a great one. This is KE2FLO 73.
Thanks, Mike. I appreciate it. We talked a couple of check-ins earlier about the old adage of buy once, cry once. So I'm sure you'll figure out what radio you want, and you'll get a good one in your shack. Thanks again for checking in. Next up on our list, we've got Lumberton, Mississippi, Charles, K5ASL. Good evening, Charles.
Thank you for hosting the net. I don't get a tax refund either. I would probably, but if I did, I really like to look for that Yaesu F1. Still running the old ICOM 706 Mark IIG on 8F. But anyway, back to net control. K5 ASL.
I get it, Charles. You know, it's one of those things, I contemplate new radios too, and you start looking around, and I just wonder how much more it will do for me if I would just still be on the air and use it just as well. So, but you got to keep the hopes and the dreams alive. Thanks for checking in, Charles, tonight. We appreciate you being there. From Parrish, Florida, next up on our list is Chris, KQ4GLY. Hello, Chris.
Good evening, Net Control and everyone on the net. Well, if I did get a tax refund, which I'm not, I'd probably get an ICOM 7300. Back to you.
Thank you, Chris. Yep, it's a great radio, especially that Mark II that's come back out, or just recently come out. I think a lot of people want that radio. But thanks for checking in from Florida tonight. We appreciate you being there. Next up, from my neck of the woods, from Beaumont, Texas, WB5ITT, a voice and a name I recognize. Had the pleasure of meeting him at Hamfest down here. Chris, what would you get with a tax refund this year?
Not as much as I was hoping. I'm getting half of what I got back last year. Go figure that one out. Or everybody's having a good hump evening, just sitting here munching on pizza and listening to the band opening on VHF while checked into the Texas Traffic Net on HF. WB5ITT.
You to maintain the ham radio world and your repeater out there, much appreciated. We got lots of room on this check-in log here, so don't be shy out there. The second T in PTT stands for talk. Why don't you come in with your call sign now, twice, slowly and phonetically. Check in with us, and we'd love to talk to you tonight. Please come now.
And 1 WEB, November 1, Whiskey Echo Bravo.
November 7, Foxtrot Golf Papa. November 7, Foxtrot Golf Papa.
All right, well, this is N5CHB, Chuck, net control for tonight's Open Mic Net. We're going to jump to the top of this list from Mauritius, New York. I hope I pronounced that correctly. We've got KE2NK. We've got Joseph. Joseph, what radio would you get with your tax refund this year if you could?
That I would like to get, it doesn't exist yet, the ICOM 5200. Hopefully it gets released by the end of the year. That's the only radio I want right now. Back to net control.
Thank you, Joseph. Well, put that on your wish list and save your nickels, and maybe you'll be able to get it this year when it comes out. I've read about that radio. It's supposed to be a good one. Thanks again for checking in. Next up on the list, from Collierville, Tennessee, we got Webb in 1WEB. Good evening, Webb.
Good evening, Chuck, and the rest of the net. Not a radio this time. Please put me down for a CW oscillator from Nite Fire Electronics. It's a kit I'm going to put together as soon as it gets here. And 1WEB, back to the net.
Well, thanks, Webb. Thanks for checking into us tonight from Tennessee. We appreciate you being there. Have a wonderful evening. Next up on our list, one of the East Coast Reflector crews, Scott, N7FGP, my transplanted Texan friend. Hello, Scott.
Good evening, Chuck, and hello everybody on the net out there tonight. Since we're dreaming, I might as well dream for like that ICOM IC9700. Yeah, I like that radio. All right, thanks for doing the net tonight.
That is quite the radio, Scott. One of our friends down here, KI5NPM, Mike, has got one of those, and I want to get my hands on it and play with it someday. Sure looks like a lot of fun. Thanks a lot, Scott, and thanks for all you do to support ham radio there at ECR. Next up on our list, from Claremont, Florida, we've got Carrie, KG4UZO. Good evening, Carrie. KG4UZO. Carrie, are you at the control point? All right, well, we're going to leave Carrie up, and I'll come back in a minute. Maybe we had a little technical issue going on. We just don't want to make sure we don't overlook anybody. Once again, that brings us to the bottom of our list. We'd love to have you check in. You can come to us by the text message line, 716-317-9050, or you can check in here via your radio. Please come with your call sign twice, slowly, and
Whiskey 4, Tango Alpha Bravo. Whiskey 4, Tango Alpha Bravo.
K2CMT.
K4QMM.
station with the C in the call sign.
November Bravo 9 Delta. 9D.
K2CMT, K2CMT.
K8VKY, K8VKY, in and out.
Okay, that time through, we got KE8VKY, K2CMT, NB9D, K04QMM, WB4TAB. I think there might have been another station in there. If we overlooked you, please come now. All right, well, I'm hoping we picked everyone up. I'm going to call one more time before we move on for Carrie, KG4UZO. Carrie, are you there? Okay, we're going to mark Carrie as in and out. Thanks for checking in tonight, Carrie. Next up on their list from Charlotte, North Carolina, we got Jose, W4TAB. Good evening, Jose. If you get a tax refund this year, what kind of radio are you buying?
Good evening, Net Control and everyone on the net. If I could pick a radio right now, I would pick an ICOM 705. That little toy seems portable and very capable, so that's on my wish list. Maybe next year, maybe Santa. That's all I got. 7-3, back to Net Control.
Thank you, Jose. Just keep saving those nickels. Just keep saving them and you can get what you want hopefully someday. Thanks for checking in tonight. Hope you have a good rest of your evening. Next up on their list is K04QMM. We've got Roger, one of the ECR crews from Umatilla, Florida. Hello, Roger.
Good morning, Chuck. You sound good tonight, and the Open Mic Night crew. Put me down for, I just had a brain fog on the question there. What an idiot. The question. Come back again.
What radio would you buy if you had a refund coming this year? What kind of... I don't feel bad. We were laughing earlier about the things we forget. So come on back, Roger.
Oh, it ain't the first time, Chuck, and it won't be the last time. Yeah, I was thinking if I was working and getting an income tax check, I'd like to get a mobile unit, UHF, VHF. So there we go. Back to you, my friend. KO4QMM clear.
Thanks, Roger, and thanks for being part of the ECR crew. We appreciate you being there. Next up on the list from Bedford, New Hampshire, we got Neil, NB9D. Hello, Neil. What kind of radio would you get, or what ham radio equipment would you get?
Hi, Net Control and everyone on the net. Good evening. This is November Bravo 9 Delta Neil in Bedford, New Hampshire. What would I get? Well, I'd build up our All-Star node. I'd get a radio interface. That's where I get. I just connect up the radio that we are have an old Balfang, and then so that would be our answer. A radio interface for our All-Star node.
Well, I appreciate that. Yep. It seems to do thing, but everyone's got their own flavor of ice cream they like. Thanks a lot for checking in tonight, Neil. We appreciate you being there. Next up on the list is Mike from DeBerry, Florida. I hope I pronounced that right. K2CMT. Good evening, Mike.
Good evening, Chuck, and everyone else joining us tonight on Open Mic. You sound good out there. I always think about you when I see that Sugar Land, Texas location. I follow a little girl down there who flies out of a Sugar Land airport, or used to. I think she's over at the Houston Executive now. But Fly with K, if you ever were looking on the videos, it's always a fun trip. And as far as the radio question, I don't expect no refunds. You got to file first, I guess, before you get a refund. But if I had some extra money, I think I would go for one of those G90s and get out there and play QRP radio a little bit.
Mike, I am absolutely familiar with Fly with Kay. I love watching her YouTube videos, and she's a lot of fun to watch. And yeah, she moved out to executive. And yep, those Zygu G90s, that's where I cut my teeth as well. Quite the radio for the price point. They do a lot of cool things. So thanks for checking in, Mike. Appreciate you being there, and thanks for being part of the ECR crew. Next up, we've got Vicky, KE8VKY. Vicky was in and out, but we all know Vicky. Vicky did a lot of logging for us. Thank you, Vicky. Next on our list, we've got a new check-in from Austin, Texas. We've got Terry, N5RTC. Hello, Terry.
Hi, Chuck. Doing a great job tonight. Nice to hear your voice on Open Mic Net. And hi to everybody in the Zoom room right now. I don't know if however many small devices that cost less than $50 that I can order from Amazon to play with. N5RTC, back to net control.
Terry, I get that totally. I use my American Express for work a lot, and I end up with points every month. And I can't tell you the inexpensive ham radio I get every month from those points. And I don't know if you've learned this yet or not, but if you stick 2 HD radios in a drawer and you open it up 2 weeks later, there'll be 3. Those things tend to multiply. So thanks for your help tonight, Terry. Thanks for your mentorship. Greatly, greatly appreciated. Well, I've still got a few minutes on my part. If you're out there and you want to check in, this is N5CHB. We'd love to have you check in. Come with your call sign twice, slowly and phonetically.
November 2, Zulu
M0
Victor November.
MSS.
November 2,
Sierra Mobile.
Zulu Victor November.
Whiskey 0 Quebec Golf.
Kilowatt.
Whiskey
Bravo.
0 Quebec Golf.
Bravo.
November. Kilowatt Bravo 2 Bravo Oscar.
K4MMX. K4MMX.
Okay, let me run this list. I think we had a little bit of a pile-up, and I want to make sure we didn't overlook you. So we had K4MMX, Craig, W0QG, Devin, K1MCO, Jay, and KB0 or KB0GUF, we had John. If we overlooked you, please come with your call sign twice, and we'll get you in the log.
November 2, Zulu Victor November. N2ZZN.
The station with the uniform and the call sign, you want to try one more time?
November 1, Whiskey, Golf, Uniform. November 1, Whiskey, Golf, Uniform. Coming through Echo Lake.
Well, Kenneth, hello there. Thanks for checking in. We got your call sign. We got you a call sign that time. It looks like I've got a note here that you may be new to the system. If you are, if your email address is accurate in QRZ, we will get you a new member welcome package. So thanks for checking in tonight. I'm going to run to the top of this list for a couple of these call signs before I turn it over. We're going to go to KUF. We got John from South St. Paul, Minnesota. Hello, John. What radio would you buy? KB0GUF, are you at the control point? All right, we're going to mark John in and out. We'll go to next on our list, K1MCO, Jay. Good evening, Jay. How's things in Orlando tonight?
Good evening, Chuck,
And good evening to everybody on the net tonight, the Zoom room, and in between. Doing a great job over there. Doing great. Just bought the FTM 150, FTM 150, so for the mobile, a new upgrade for the car. And that's it. After that, no more radios this year. Send it back to you, Chuck. Thank you for carrying on the net tonight. This is K1MCO.
Thank you, Jay. Appreciate you checking in. Well, guys, from the bottom of my heart, thank you for welcoming me tonight for my first open mic night. I hope I didn't let you down, and I hope they invite me back. At this point, it's 8:30, and I'm turning the net over to Bill, KF0MHN. Thanks for your participation. 73s.
Well, hello, everybody. This is Bill, KF0MHN, talking to you from lovely Arizona. Usually in Minnesota, I'll be back there on Sunday or late Saturday. Anyways, and welcome to the second half hour of the Open Mic Net. We'll take check-ins if you want to check in via phone, DMR, digital, Echolink, or anyway. We'll take all kinds of check-ins. Let's move on to the list. First, we got 0QG Devin in Austin, Texas. What's Devin?
Hey Bill, thanks for running the Open Mic Net. I've been eyeing those Flex software-defined radios, so yeah, if I got a refund instead of paying, that's probably what I get. Anyway, thanks for running that again. 7-3, and back to net control.
Craig, Oakland Park, Florida. Good evening.
Good evening, Bill. Well, I guess the question, I just turned the radio on right before I checked in, is what radio would I want to buy next? And not really sure, but it would probably be some sort of DMR radio so I can sound like a robot. I've already got two other radios that are D-Star. Yeah, I guess I could sound like a robot on those too. K4 FMX, back to that.
All right, we got you down for DMR radio. The question today was actually, what would you do with your tax refund? So we'll put you down for DMR radio. Next, let's move on to W2AJV Anthony in Atco, New Jersey.
This is Whiskey 2, Alpha Juliet Victor. And you're doing a stellar job on the net, as usual. What radio would I buy? I'm waiting for that new tri-band Kenwood mobile radio to come out. I think it is the 750 Alpha. I'm not sure of the prefix, but that's what I'm waiting for, the new tri-band Kenwood. W2HAV, back to that.
All right, Alan, we appreciate you checking in. We got you down for the Kenwood Tri-Band. Next, we move on to Alan, Kendall, New York, N2 ZVN. Good evening, Alan.
Good evening, everyone on the net tonight. Boy, I tell you, I've been drooling over those FT991As for quite a while, but by the time I can afford one, they're probably going to come up with a new generation of something else. So, but the FT991, that would be my go-to radio, I think. Hey, everybody have a great night, and to ZVN, back to net control.
You have a great night as well, Alan. Thanks for checking in. Next, we move on to Kenneth, N1WGU from Westminster, Vermont. Good evening.
Good evening, and thank you, Bill, for doing the net. This is my first time, so I just wanted to say good evening to the net. And I suppose if I was to get a new radio, maybe the Yaesu FTX1, possibly, the Optima, 100-watt unit. It's put in my truck, but I just picked up a used FT3DR handheld when I was at Hamcation a couple months back there, and I'm really liking playing around with Fusion and things like that too. So some good stuff there. So anyway, 7-3, thank you very much for adding me to the net. This is N1WGU, Cannon, Vermont.
Open mic, and we also have the Morning Brew Monday through Friday, 7 to 9 if you're around. And we're starting a new program. It's been going on for a couple weeks called Quest. And if you go to our homepage, you can find out a little bit about it. Not a contest, but a way to accumulate points and get so it's interesting. And check it out in the East Coast Reflector. Next we move on to Doug, Interlochen, New York, KB2BON. Good evening, Doug.
Good evening, everybody. Let me see. I know I'm not getting a tax refund. I had to pay, so that's not the question. And I just bought a new 510 and a 5D AC. So if I had the extra money, even though I've already got an ICOM 7300, I probably would get the new 7300 market. So that would be the one. That way I could have the big HDMI out display in front of me. Everybody have a good night. KB2B1.
All right, Doug, thanks for checking in. We got you down for the Icon 300. Have a good night. Next, a fellow Minnesotan, John, South St. Paul, Minnesota, KB0GUF. Good evening, John.
Good evening, sir. Thanks for having me. You're doing a fine job. KB0GUF. I think if I don't get a tax return, I pay money in, which is a good thing. That means I had income. Capital gains tax is a wonderful problem to have. But I would invest in antennas because the radio in the world won't do you any good if you don't have a good antenna. Back to you, Bill. KB0GUF 73.
All right, John, we got you down for antennas there. Have a good night. We'll be back in probably Saturday night or early Sunday, so you take care. All right, we're at the bottom of the list. More check-ins, Echolink, DMR, any digital, text, and phone. Let's hear you out there.
KG4WHO, KG4WHO.
K6GBZ, K6GBZ, in and out.
Didn't get that last one. All right, we'll go from what we got here. K6GBZ, in and out Tom, Cameron Park, California. And at the top of the list, KG4WHO Paul out of Winchester, Virginia.
KR4IEG, KR4IEG.
Paul, KG4WHO Paul, Winchester, Virginia. What would you do with your tax refund as far as ham radio equipment?
Well, good evening, everyone. We didn't get a tax refund this year, but we broke even, so I'll call that good. I've pretty much bought all the ham radio stuff I'm probably going to buy, with the exception of maybe some coax. So that's where I'm at with that. And I've been having a lot of fun doing the Quester program. I'm up to 25 contacts, give or take. The next certificate I'll get is at 30, and then the next one after that's at 50. So it's a big jump from 30 to 50. Hope everyone has a good night. KG4WHO.
All right, thanks, Paul. Coax is in the log, and thank you for plugging the Coaster program. Really appreciate it. Next, we had K6GBZ in and out, Tom from Cameron Park, California, and KR4IEG, Daniel. Looks like a new guy from Fort Lauderdale, Florida. If you are updated in QRZ, we will get a news or a welcome email out to you. And Daniel, what are you going to buy with your tax refund?
I ended up owing, but right now my technician, I'm getting ready to take the general, hoping to get my hands on a really good meter for my truck.
I didn't quite copy what radio you wanted to buy, Daniel.
Right now I'm looking at a Danny.
All right, I think we got you down for a 10-minute radio. And look for that newsletter if you're updated in QRZ. And thank you for checking in. You're welcome to join us anytime. Look into the Quest program as well. It's on our homepage. And it's a little program where you can earn some points for making contacts with our coasters. And there's more information on the homepage for East Coast Reflector. Welcome to the East Coast Reflector. All right, time for more check-ins. We're at the bottom of the list. Any check-ins we'll take.
Kilo 9er Tango Juliet Sierra, K9 TJS.
So Charlie 3, Foxtrot Golf Delta. Kilo Charlie 3, Foxtrot Golf Delta.
EX, Alpha Bravo 1, Echo X-Ray. Bravo 10. Last station, you cut off. We didn't get your full call sign. K4 HBT. C3FGD Ray out of Elizabethtown, Pennsylvania. And at the top of the list, we've got K9TJS Thomas out of Margate, Florida. What are you going to buy with your tax refund?
You know, I haven't thought about it at all, and we usually do our that time. The money's probably gone, so I don't have a good answer for you, but back to you.
Hey, my friend Thomas, can you pick anything? Can we get you to commit to just, it doesn't even have to be a radio. Can you just give us something?
Oh yeah, I got ideas. I've been, I got a stuff set up that I don't have a good permanent antenna for. That might be one of the things I would do, so if you could put me down for deaf antenna on the house.
GD Ray, Elizabethtown, Pennsylvania. What say you?
Hey, well, good evening, everyone. I did receive a tax refund, and I was thinking about a new 2-meter radio. However, I'm just thinking here, well, it performs well. So I think I'm going to stay with what I have. Everyone have a great evening. Back to that.
group. Check all modes of this URL. https://tinyurl.com/ssrg1.
Well, I'm not sure what that was, but let's move on to Thomas in Margate, Florida. Or, pardon me, let's move down to George, Alabama, AB1EX. We already, and see what he says.
The stream radio to replace my 35-year-old Kenwood PS450. Now I need a mag loop to replace my HOA restricted rain gutter antennas that I've got. So down for an HF mag loop antenna. AB1EX. Back to that.
All right, George, thanks for checking in. We got you down as a mag loop. Have a good night. Next we move on to K4, HBT, Gary, Inverness, Florida. What say you, Gary?
Well, this year I think I'm going to explore EMR radio. In fact, as I'm doing that right now. I just picked up this radio. It's the first day using it. It's quite a challenge. The EMR is a lot different. For HBT, back to net control.
All right, Gary, we got you down for DMR radio. Thank you for checking in and have a good night. All right, down to the bottom of the list this time. We have time for more check-ins. We've got about 14 minutes to go, and we'll take check-ins. Remember, twice and slowly. We also got, you can check in by text and any digital stations as well.
N0MSS Mobile. N0MSS Mobile.
Kilo Foxtrot 4 Zulu Lima Golf. Kilo Foxtrot 4 Zulu Lima Golf. Check me in and out. 73. Have a good evening.
All right, let's head up to the mobile station, Ross, Wapaton, North Dakota, N0MSS. What say you, Ross?
Yeah, good evening, and good job running the net tonight. Well, let's see. Not too long ago, I bought myself a Christmas present, the Yaesu 310 with the RASP. That was pretty nice. And my most recent radio purchase was a Pixie 40-meter QRP kit for like $5 or something. Anyway, it took me about 45 minutes to put that together, and I tested it out the other night, but haven't made a contact on it. But if I were to get a different radio, another one, I've been thinking about maybe a G90. Try some portable QRP stuff. So put me down for a G90. N0MSS.
All right, Ross, thanks for checking in. I have a G90. I love it. It does a lot of good things, and I really appreciate the radio. Next, we move on to, let's see, we had a in-and-out KF4ZLG out of Newburgh, North Carolina, and a text check-in, K7FPS Fred out of Reno, Nevada. Good evening, Fred.
Good evening, everyone on the net, K7FPS. I want to get a second mobile rig for my Jeep. I already have one in my RAV4, and I want to replace that old school CB radio with something way more useful. K7FPS, back to net.
All right, Fred, good to hear from you. Have a good night out there in Nevada. Maybe we'll talk to you later on tonight. Any more check-ins? We've got all kinds of ways to check in, like I've been saying. If you check in by phone, say nice and slowly.
0WKQ. Checking in.
Right, I know there's more check-ins, and in the Zoom room we start talking about dancing and singing. So I do not want to start dancing and singing in here if we don't get more check-ins. So let's hear some more check-ins, please.
Kilo Foxtrot 0 with
recheck.
Kilo Quebec.
DJS, a recheck.
Recheck, can you give your call sign one more time?
Kilo Foxtrot
Kilo 9er Tango
with
Juliet.
Kilo
DJS.
checking in. 0 WKQ.
Kilo November 4 Alpha. Last call sign, we didn't, or last check-in, we didn't get your complete call sign. Can you do that again, please? Check-in, we had a KN4. All right, hopefully he checks in again. We got K9TJS Margaret, I believe that was the recheck, and we got F0WKQ Stephen out of Westminster, Colorado. What say you, Stephen?
Yes, this is Steven out of Westminster, Colorado. Just wanted to check in and listening in.
Question is, if you got a tax refund from the IRS, what type of ham radio equipment would you like to buy?
Well, unfortunately this year I do have to owe the IRS a little bit of money, but if I was getting a refund, what I've been eyeing right now is the Yaosu FTX1. I really want to get that for some POTA activation. I have a friend right now and been learning a lot about it. Seems like a wonderful radio, seems really cool. Personally, I'm an ICOM guy. I'm currently operating off of the ICOM 5100A, but that Yaosu seems like an amazing piece of equipment, and I would love to get my hands on one. I'm hoping to get my hands on one before the end of the year, but if I were getting a tax refund, that is definitely what I would go for.
All right, Stephen, we got you down. Yazoo FTX1 in the log, and also that you're new here on East Coast Reflector. If your email is updated in QRZ, we'll send out a welcome letter to you in your email. Have a good night, and thank you for checking in. Thomas, K9TJS, I believe you're the recheck out of Margate, Florida. What can we do for you? Thomas, you still with us? K9TJS? All right, we'll move in. We'll just mark Thomas in and out this time. We got about 5 more minutes. Any more check-ins? Last-minute check-ins. Well, the question of the day is, if you got a refund from the IRS, what ham radio equipment would you like to buy?
Kilo 2, Romeo Mike Kilo.
All right, Robert, out of Moses Lake, Washington, K2RMK. What's your answer to the question of the day?
I have been thinking about getting into some POTA, parts on the air lately, so I recently picked up a 20-foot telescoping mast, a Pactena end-fed half-wave, and a Pelican case for my FTDX-10, so hopefully I will be doing POTA activations before too long.
All right, we got you in the log for your antenna there, and thank you for checking in tonight, and you have a good night out there in Washington. All right, time for more check-ins, 4 more minutes, or else Gil is going to start dancing for us now because I'm getting tired. So any more check-ins? Text check-ins, digital check-ins, phone check-ins, 4 more minutes to go.
WB2JPQ.
Kilo, November 4, Charlie.
All right, we got the last check-in. It kind of scattered there a little bit, a lot of noise, KN4C, and then we didn't get the full call sign.
Charlie Alpha Delta.
I think we got KN4CAD from Temperance, Michigan. Got the Godfather, Dick. WB2JPQ from Eden, New York. What say you, Dick?
Mobile setup, and a full power home for the base station. That's what I would do with my map.
No, I wasn't sure who checked in that time. Was that WB2JPQ or KN4CAD?
No, it was me. I guess I better look at the monitor. Somebody talked over the top of me. Oh, I said probably a Collins S line like I used to have many years ago. Lots of knobs, switches, and relays. WB2JPQ.
The Starfleet Radio Group Multi-Network Hub N6SFI, All-Star Node 620303.
All right, we're at the end of Open Mic. This is KF0MHN. Thank you everyone for checking in. Appreciate it. We had a good amount of check-ins tonight for Open Mic. Thank you to Chuck for the first half hour. You did a great job, and we'll call it a night. Everybody, have a good night. And we'll return the East Coast Reflector to regular operation.